mean, he cooked. He was going fast. He was going really, really good.
Yeah.
And then he just went, just like held it forever. I was like, let's go.
I finally got it right, Sammy. Took me 4 games. I'm right about the Patriots. Take that, Patriots fans.
I was like, oh God, we're a minute and 50 seconds into this game and 2 props are already down the drain.
Will Campbell said, like, I would die for my quarterback. And someone put a photo of him in a casket.
Don't count these guys out. I'm like, unless Tom Brady shows up, this ain't happening.
I did sprinkle a tiny on the kicker.
Ah.
They did not profile like a 10-win team. They profiled like 7-win type teams. I can't wait to let 18 and 22-year-olds go through the
I made a call, to Vegas. I said, look, we actually need the paper here.
Bear's podcast back, and Geoff Schwartz, I guess the only thing to say is, out of all the Super Bowls, that was certainly one of them.
I finally got it right, Sammy. Took me 4 games. I'm right about the Patriots. Take that, Patriots fans.
That game sucked, guys. If we didn't have money on it, we weren't watching it.
And that was what we were texting about yesterday during that. I said it felt like a cross between like a mid-October 1 p.m. kick in the fall and but visually, like the play on the field resembled like an Iowa Penn State game where neither team could score a touchdown. And in the end, Geoff, the simple handicap was right. It was what you said it, Geoff. I'll get it for 2 weeks, overanalyze and paralysis through analysis. And first thought was right. The schedule, the bad teams, the fired coaches they played, all the thoughts about the Patriots were right. Their terrible quarterbacks, the fired head coaches that they faced. I got a little concerned that their luck box would continue and didn't bet accordingly and didn't bet what I should live during the game. But you told me not to. You told me go back to 2 weeks ago what we were saying on this pod, and unfortunately, I didn't act as I really should have acted and made a good score in this game.
Football can feel complicated sometimes. It could feel like it's hard to understand at times, but sometimes a team is just better in the offensive line and the defensive line, and they're faster and more physical and play harder, and that's what Seattle was, wire to wire. Basically the best team in the NFL all season. We said that we didn't maybe trust Darnold. Darnold didn't have to play well. He admitted after the game, like, I don't know, offense didn't really do anything. Our defense, defense scored once, got him a short field, I believe, on the Barner touchdown. So they helped 14 points essentially right there. 5 field goals for Myers. It just was not a great performance for some. Darnold didn't matter, Sammy. Look, the better team won. They won by a big margin. I think it's fair to wonder how healthy Drake May is. He went over, by the way, over rushing, it depends on the number you got, over passing for sure, over pass attempts, over completely. All those things happened, even though Drake May's shoulder was a little bit beat up. The Patriots' offensive game plan was poor, no whatsoever plan for pressure. And the Seattle's a better team, and they showed it.
My friend Andy Molitor had the easiest winner of the day. He handicapped it the way that it played out, the way that you guys mostly talked about, how Seattle's going to get ahead, New England's going to be behind. He bet over Drake May 30.5 attempts. Drake could have thrown the ball 50 times yesterday. I think it was 43 was the final number. They were behind. You knew they weren't going to win. And yet we still had total drama because Kenneth Walker scores a touchdown. Over. Nope. Flag coming back. How much money swung on that, right? Had to be 6 figures.
And the other couple of, in terms of like the props late in the game, how about we talked about Drake May under 37.5 rushing yards. You think numbers matter? And oh, by the way, he got over the 37.5 flag, holding, New England, bring it back. So we got a little bit lucky there with the penalty, despite our waiting and still getting the best number. We still got very fortunate that the penalty brought that run back, which would have gotten it over the 37.5. And then the Trevion Henderson pass prop, you heard about, they're going to be throwing the ball more to Henderson out of the backfield, and final meaningless play of the game. It all went over. So the game may not have been in doubt, but there were a couple of things prop and total wise that certainly came down to the very end.
Geoff, we have to ask you, what what was Will Campbell doing yesterday?
Yeah. So a couple
14
things.
pressures.
Yeah,
14.
that number's not right, by the way. It's just not. It's not 14 pressures. PFF has
Well,
three.
I want to know what did Geoff and Mitch break it down as?
We haven't broke it down yet, but I'll tell you because I've watched enough of the game so far. It was not. PFF has him down for 3 pressures. It probably wasn't 3, wasn't 14. Look, I'm not going to get as technical as you guys want, but essentially his technique is poor. He's not a big football player, and his technique is such that you would expect from a bigger football player. He has used better technique, better pass sets. And look, it felt very early on that Drake made this offense understood they couldn't block. And you got sacked, I believe, once on the first 3 drives, right? They had 3 sacks by the third. And one of them was just a backup D tackle walking Wilson back to the quarterback. I mean, just bad stuff. No pressure play, no hots, no sights. The Mac Hollins thing pissed me off, by the way, because we had under Mac Hollins, and he just had 2 catches on that one drive in the meaningless. It just, I was not happy about that. But for fourth quarter under, easily cashed, Sammy. We had some good wagers.
Yeah, the first quarter under, and then both teams not to score in the first quarter. One quote on Campbell. Was that just like a one-off, or are they going to have to move him to guard? Is that something long-term you're going to have to consider?
He's going to have to fix his technique. If he doesn't, he's going to have to play guard. I mean, he can play tackle with shorter arms. You just have to set more aggressively and be strong early on. Part of it is when you have short arms, right, and you set back, which is a set people can do, it buys you time on speed rushers because then you get to meet them sort of like in the middle and not have to worry about them beating you around the corner if you set back and sort of meet him at that point. But when you set back, you tend to not be as strong, right? And so big humans, Andrew Whitworth, Lane Johnson, my brother set vertical, like they can do it. Will Campbell's not that big, right? And his arms are shorter. So often if you set vertical, your arms are not going to be as impactful because they're shorter than the guy you're rushing against. If you get on the guy now immediately and you're strong early in the rep, you get your hands on him sooner, he's fine. When he gets his hands on guys, he's fine. The problem is his arms are shorter. So you have to play to that. And he just didn't do it in this game, and it cost him. And, hopefully it doesn't ruin his confidence heading into next season. But I mean, the memes were out, man. Because Will Campbell said, like, I would die for my quarterback. And someone put a photo of him in a casket. Like it was just, he's just to stay off social media, It's going to be fine. I got faith in him. He's drafted where he was for a reason. It's just in this spotlight, it's really tough to play a game like this and not play very well.
I figured you'd be the perfect person to ask. I also, Bear, I find it funny that mid-breakdown of Will Campbell, Geoff complains about a losing bet on Mac Hollins. Like that, just wedge that in there. We did good on the game.
Right?
I think we did good on the game relatively.
Yes.
That was one of my only losers, the Hollins under 2.5. And we had people at the house. You guys probably saw the food and everything.
Yep.
My one buddy goes, he's only got 1 catch. This is easy.
No.
And I'm like, no. And then that very next drive, touchdown catch, 3 catches. I'm like,
And I thought right away, I'm like, oh no, this game is going to be absolute garbage for me. Why am I sitting here watching it? Because second, third play of the game, I had the Cooper Kupp under 16.5 yards for longest reception, and they throw the sideline route where I don't think he caught the ball. They didn't. Crable didn't review it, so I lose that right there. And that play, of course, gets him into the red zone where the prop that a lot of us were on, the over 37.5 yards for the distance of the first field goal, that immediately was shot once they didn't convert the third down. And so I was like, oh God, we're a minute and 50 seconds into this game and 2 props are already down the drain. But after that, everything else kind of worked out. Like I said, the both teams not to score, the first team under, the May rushing under, last score of the game to be a touchdown. So in the end, did I get in on Seattle early enough? Probably not. But most of the things for the game worked out, and I needed it because right before the game went, I had bet Hideki Matsuyama at plus 130 in the waste management. He was getting ready to head to like the 12th hole with a 1-shot lead, and he still had both par 5s to play. And he was plus 130. I'm like, all right, I'm going to bet this. And then he got as long as minus 3,000, getting to the 17th tee. And
did he lose?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I saw him shank his first shot at 18.
Yeah.
He was looking for the ball. He was one up by then. And I turned it off to put the pregame show on because people at my party were like, I want to watch football now. And so he bogeyed 18 and lost the playoff.
Yeah. Well, bogeyed 18, went in the water on his tee shot on 18. And even worse, he was about like 30 yards from the hole on 17 after nearly going into the water and butchered his second shot and left a terrible birdie putt for him. Didn't make that. So yeah, it was a complete debacle of 17, 18. But good for Chris Gotterup, man. And if Scotty Scheffler shoots even par on Thursday in the first round, he wins the golf tournament. And if he shoots one over par, he's in a playoff. I mean, how freaking good is that guy?
I'm doing what you told us. I'm betting him to win every tournament. I'm up now after 2 tournaments because he won the first one and he finished third in this one. I will say, as bad as your day was, you didn't go 0 for 20 in exact score props for the first quarter and first half. So that's a good start for your day. So as long as you didn't do that, you're fine.
Sammy, I thought when our guy had sent out all of his Super Bowl stuff with all of those field goals that were being kicked, I'm like, he played a bunch of ridiculous stuff, didn't he? And I'm like, I thought he might have caught one.
No, he didn't. He lost all of his bets, as he does. All of them. The one thing that I took away from the Super Bowl, though, and we talked about this on the show, like I was going to bet the Patriots, but I didn't. Like I just couldn't, for some reason I couldn't get there. And I'm glad because like that felt like it never really had a chance to cover it. I was like, oh, I'll take 5.5. And then I had a couple guys tell me, don't do it. So I didn't get there. Seattle covers again. Seattle's 16-4 this year, ATS. Crazy. Money-making team that was, 60-1 before the year? I think they were 80-1 after they lost week 1 to San Francisco, too. So obviously that price floated up. Hell of a team. They made you money all year, and they cover again in the biggest game.
Were you, Geoff, I'll ask you because you were gung-ho on Seattle all along. And Sammy, maybe if you were getting in live, you can chime in. Were you worried at all settling for all these field goals, dominating the game, and it's 9-0 at halftime, and you're like, this is what's going to happen. This is why I couldn't get there with Seattle. It's just going to take one play and they're right back in it. I was a little concerned at 9-0, like, okay, this is, and then once New England went 3-and-out out of the gate and Seattle kicked the field goal to make it 12-0, I'm like, game's over. There's zero chance that New England's going to score 2 touchdowns here that matter. So, like, were you worried at all, or did you just feel pretty confident the entire way, Geoff?
It's the National Football League. Of course, I was worried I would lose my bet. I mean, I've lost every bet inside the entire season I've wagered. I mean, of course, I was worried. I've lost every bet possible this season. I lost a bet where a team outscored someone 27-6 on offense and allowed two non-offensive touchdowns and lost. I've lost every bet imaginable this season. Yes, I was worried. But once it was 12-0, Bear, that was the end of it. I mean, the math didn't make sense, right? Up 12-0, I would have needed Patriots to score 2. They ended up getting the touchdowns late, obviously. Right. But, a 12-0 game is a little different, than when you sort of back off, you're up 19-0. So I wasn't concerned. I had a Seattle money line wager as well. I took the money line at -3.5 immediately. Again, I just thought they're better, and it proved that way. And people all week, I was down in San Francisco and you hear people talk about this Patriots team and you say, well, the last team with a schedule like this, the 1999 Rams, they won the Super Bowl. Well, they also had Hall of Fame quarterback, left tackle, running back, wide receiver, London Fletcher in on the defense, the 01 Patriots, right? Oh, this is like the Patriots team in 01. It's not. They're not the same. The thing about this game is New England is not an overall talented football team. They have some good players, right? But the whole roster is fine. They have 4 difference makers essentially, right? The quarterback, the 2 defensive tackles, and Christian Gonzalez, who played fantastic. Yeah. And one of the defensive tackles, Barrymore, was his name called once in this game because the Seahawks left guard is really good. The right guard obviously allows out to Milton Williams. So they're just not a talented team, right? Seattle's a much more talented team. I actually think, oddly enough, that Charbonnet not playing in this game actually helped Seattle because I'm just a fan of a running back, one guy getting a lot of the carries. I think it helps the flow of a run game. And Walker got 27 carries. I think the most he got all year was 19. And I think it showed. I think it showed the rhythm of the run game was much better with him getting so many carries. So, I think we all got in live on Walker MVPs. We made a little money there, which is good. And I will admit, I did sprinkle a tiny on the kicker. A little bit of the kicker, Bear. I almost put it on Twitter, but I didn't want to get mocked by people I don't care about. So I'll just have you guys mock me instead.
If it wasn't this year, it ain't ever happening. I mean, like, that's the perfect resume for a kicker to win MVP, right? What more could he have done? And he doesn't win because the kicker is never going to win.
Yeah.
Two more quick things on the Patriots. I thought 12-0, 4th and 1, Vrabel punting was absurd. I was like, what? Yeah. What the hell is he doing? Yeah. You need 1 yard, and you're still in the game. And then they punted. I'm like, that's bad. I'm watching the game. I'm in Boston, obviously. One of my guys is here. He's got his fresh Drake May jersey on, right? Like, the tags were still hanging on the back of it. And the Patriots are down, and the game's over. And he's like, I don't know. I've watched a lot of Patriot playoff games over the years. Don't count these guys out. I'm like, unless Tom Brady shows up, this ain't happening.
Did the jersey have May on the back of it, or did it have the schedule on the back? I saw someone's Twitter account had a Drake May jersey number 10 there with instead of May on the back as in the nameplate, it had the schedule on there as a nameplate. But yeah, watched a lot of Patriots games and doesn't have either a Brady or a Brewski or a Grogan or whomever. Yeah, a lot of, but I think the game was a bit of a representation of kind of what the season was. Like we hung on to all the hope of all the good teams for a long time, and probably longer than we should have, because we couldn't buy what we were seeing with the Bears and all the ridiculous comebacks, and the Broncos with the ridiculous comebacks, pulling games out of there, you know what, and the Patriots with that terrible schedule, and the Texans in a terrible offense. So we were like, oh, the Chiefs get hot, or the Lions can get healthy, or wait till Lamar comes back. The Bills, I know their defense stinks, but the Bills, and we've got great numbers on the Bills. The Eagles, despite the offense hating each other, in the end, the schedule mattered and gave the teams like the Patriots and the Broncos and the Bears a leg up, even though they really weren't as talented. So I think that should probably be something you factor into your handicapping next year. Look at the way some of these schedules flip, both positively and negatively for a lot of those teams.
I mean, Denver, New England are, I feel like, sort of fades based on their record of one-score games, right? I mean, like we saw this 2 years ago with, the Chiefs this past year, but 2 years ago had such a good record of one-score games. I mean, I think the NFC is just also much better than the AFC right now. It's just what it is. I do find it odd the Chiefs odds are so long for next year. Like, I think Kelsey's coming back now. Like, if you watched yesterday and thought, like, I mean, the Chiefs would be competitive against Seattle because they have Mahomes. I mean, that does matter. So I
think he's going to be okay.
I think he'll be fine, but we know that year two typically is the better year. Like, so year one, you just sort of get by in year two. So maybe not next season, but if Kelsey retires, that changes the entire structure of that team. The thing about it, man, everyone says this, like they'll get back next year. Probably not. I mean, that's just like, it's not the way it is. And so Seattle's they're at sixth most cap space. They're super young. They might be back. But you probably can't have a playoff. I mean, Darnold can't play like that.
No.
Most season. And
every throw he made was like,
he wasn't very good.
Hold your breath.
He wasn't good. He just wasn't good yesterday. But he has a defense. They score again. They scored 7 points and got another, score basically off Kubiak's gone. That's a big loss. Their OC confirmed he's going to be the Raiders head coach.
Parallel that with Lions offensive coordinator
losing last year.
I'm forgetting
Ben Johnson.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is I have Campbell in my mind because of Dan Campbell. And
I'm surprised it wasn't about some Olympic wager you've made on some.
Well, no, I got my Swedish Olympic hockey jersey on here is a ode to that we're now in Olympic hockey season. So sorry for cutting you off, Geoff.
The Olympics have been fun to watch, by the way. It's been funny to see like what my wife wants to watch. Like we've had figure skating on. No figure skating, but like skeleton, luge, skiing, all in all of that. I've not yet to make a wager, Sam. I don't know if you've wagered on anything Olympics yet, but maybe a hockey wager at some point is what I'll do. I don't know.
Eventually, we're going to get a text from Bear like Uzbekistan almost ruined me. You know it's coming.
Lazio's second goal last night. That's what ruined me this weekend.
Yep. As it was.
Lazio scoring 2.
Oh, of course.
Against Juventus.
I'm not surprised.
Naturally.
Not surprised.
Anybody want to guess what the Patriots are to win the Super Bowl at DraftKings right now? Take a guess. Price.
No.
12 to 1?
30 to 1.
13. Right there, Geoff.
What?
They have the 4th shortest odds right now. The only teams
Based
with
on
shorter
what?
odds: Seattle, the Rams, and the Bills.
That's terrible.
That's
That's
it.
a
Now that's at
horrible
DraftKings.
price.
So
What-
Patriots have shorter odds than the Ravens, the Packers, the Lions, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Broncos. That's where we're at, Bear.
That's terrible. Oh, who's betting that?
People in Boston will.
Like I was sitting here thinking, as Geoff was talking about the AFC and just like, are you going to be able to get back? And in my mind, I just had the thought of the two teams that played in the AFC Championship game. Like the Broncos get out from underneath the Russell Wilson cap space next year. Like they didn't play with their starting quarterback in the AFC Championship game and nearly won the damn game.
Yeah.
I would like, hey, I know the Chiefs will be better next year, and the Broncos aren't gonna have the last place schedule or the better schedule, I should say. The Chargers are going to be a team that's going to be very trendy again heading into next year. You're going to have a healthy offensive line, you would think, but you look at their road games: Baltimore, Seattle, Rams, Buffalo, and then the division road games in Kansas City and Denver. So I still think the Chargers with that offensive line being healthy might be a team to get early. But in terms of like the Patriots or the Broncos, I would back the Broncos a hell of a lot sooner and earlier and bigger than I would the Patriots.
I would take the Broncos ahead of them. I just haven't got myself to next year yet.
Sure.
But the one thing too, I saw this on the internet, like the Buffalo Bills, man, like this was their chance. Sure, I guess they're. Did you watch these teams play on defense? The Buffalo Bills aren't even close right now. Yeah, I mean, it's their year in theory because Mahomes wasn't healthy. Wasn't healthy. The Chiefs weren't very good, but I mean, Buffalo has a lot of work to do before they even get close to playing in a game like this on defense.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I live that life. I'm good on Buffalo.
But I think getting back to the game yesterday, that's something that look, we're kind of dumping on the Patriots offense and some of the decisions, and it looked like a Big Ten West team on offense, but their defense played well enough to not only keep them in the game, but potentially, if they had a functional offense, very easily could have won that game. So as bad as the Patriots were on offense, defensively, they were really good yesterday.
So they couldn't stop the run, Bear. Like that was surprising. That was surprising to me. And they didn't really hit the quarterback. I mean, they were good enough, to your point. Like if there was a tiny bit of offense, it would have been a lot. It would have just been a much closer game. But how much do you buy the Drake May shoulder stuff?
Yeah, I did. And then he's not on the injury report at all. And then after the game, he goes, yeah, I got shot up.
We all, I mean, getting shot up is
okay.
I feel like a loose term for like, it happens probably more often than you think. But the fact is, he just clearly wasn't 100%. There were a lot of throws he missed that there were opportunities to make the throw, and he just didn't. Like he just wasn't healthy.
The deep stuff was bad, but that's, I mean, if you're hurt, you have no accuracy when you try and push it. And that's sort of how it felt. You know, obviously Seattle's good against the run. And if Drake can't throw it deep, like how do you move the ball? And that's basically how the game shook out. I know we're kind of going all over here, but the anthem was crazy again this year too, guys. Oh, this house went nuts when he held Brave because he was cooking through the anthem. And remember, when we first talked about the anthem on Bear Bets, it was 2 minutes and 3 seconds. They closed it at like a minute 54, 55, and then took it down because everybody was just pounding the under. And then it landed like 151, 152. But he held Brave, Bear, for like
8 seconds.
Yeah. And we had over 3.5 and 4.5. I texted you guys. I'm like, get it. Cause we heard that he's going to take Brave to the house. And he did. I mean, he cooked. He was going fast. He was going really, really good. Yeah. And then he just went, Brave, just like held it forever. I was like, let's go.
So the people you were with knew you wagering all this stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, the guys all had bets too here.
So this was the first time my kids, I think, knew I was wagering on something. It was
Did
it was the first.
Did they
it was the
disown
first
you like,
experience.
Dad, how do you do this? Dad.
No, I mean, like I had a note card. I don't have it with me, but like I just filled out a note card and put my wagers on it, and just sort of had it with me. And my kids did ask me like, "How much did you wager in the end?" And I mean, I was up. I was glad. I think I'd be in like 7 units. I'll take it. But it was a good Super Bowl because last year was a crusher. But you were with me, Bear. Last year was crushed last year. And so, it was the first like time I think like ever seeing me like watch a game with wagering on my mind.
Next year, we're just kind of getting back to maybe some bets to be made or not to be made. Or I know we're less than 24 hours removed from the season being ended, but people, I'm sure, do care and want to know maybe what we're potentially thinking here. Like we mentioned, the Lions and the Chiefs, their schedules flip, but Lions offensive line was terrible this year. No Ben Johnson this year, I think really mattered. How they fill out that coaching staff, I think is going to be a big deal. The Bengals, of course, everyone loves the Bengals, and they again will have a bad schedule. Washington Commanders, their schedule is going to be easier again this year, and they, in theory, should have a healthier Jaden Daniels. Obviously, New England, Chicago, their schedules are going to flip the other way. Is there we mentioned the Chargers already as well. Is there someone you're going to be either potentially targeting to bet or fade once some of these odds to win the AFC, Super Bowl, and season win totals get out there?
I don't know who I'm taking at the moment. I'm sure we'll find. I mean, there's more college football teams off the top of my head that I want to fade than NFL teams right now.
Yes,
the Falcons, I think, are going to be a fade. They're getting rid of Cousins. James Pierce ain't going to play. He ain't going to play anytime soon.
No, he's not.
They don't have a first round pick. They traded him away. I like Stefanski, but I don't like that. The other team is the Eagles. Jeff Stoutland's gone, their offensive line coach. They might have Lane and Dickerson out. They might retire. Both those guys are rumored to retire. Now that might happen. I'm their one. And they hired Sean Mannion to be their OC, who's coached for 2 years. I don't really. The Eagles feel like a fade team to me, Sammy.
I will, and nobody's going to love this, but I sort of do. I'm already getting there mentally I'll have some Tennessee Titans over the win total for sure. I think there's a lot to like there, especially on the offensive line. And I'm a huge Robert Saleh fan. Like that defense is going to be substantially better. And I don't know, Bear, maybe like 5.5, 6 wins like that. I don't think it's going to be a big number.
No.
So
in that division.
And I like Brian Dable.
Yeah. I think from a coaching standpoint, I think they're in such a much better place. And again, like they're going to be catching a lot of points in a lot of games. Like you'll probably be able to get them like north of 7 several times. But I think over the win total there is a good bet. And I also kind of want to short the Colts because I don't think anybody thinks that was real last year. So, but my first answer would be probably Tennessee Titans over the win total, whatever I can get.
That's you would expect maybe with Dable now. Cam Ward takes a little bit of a leap year too, but I think what you mentioned with Saleh is a big thing. You got Jeffrey Simmons on the defensive line. You're probably going to have your pick of either Reuben Bain or Bailey from Texas Tech or one of the Ohio State defenders. There's a lot that I think Robert Saleh could do with that defense. I'm with you. They showed some signs of being competitive at the end of the year. You kind of got an adult in the room now as head coach. I could hop on board with you on that one. Oh, one other question for you. Here's an idea for you for a column. You can get to Vic and maybe throw something out there. I'd love to know some of the bets that were snuck through on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon when all your friends at the Superbook and South Point are trying to jam in Super Bowl props and we ought to write Super Bowl action. Like what rando, like ridiculous MLB futures or college basketball bets were people just sliding in there knowing that the approval process was going to be like next to nil?
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were going to have me make a line between I thought you were going to have me make a line between like the Indiana Fever and the Iowa football team or something. Like I thought you were going to say something like that. That's a good idea because you're right. The guard is down on Sunday. So you could, I mean, probably a lot of Dodger stuff. I mean, people are probably jamming Dodgers in there, Dodgers World Series, Dodgers pennant. I'll tell you what, the Westgate guys, by the way, they love the White Sox this year. We might be White Sox over fans this year. Yeah,
we're always White Sox over fans.
Last year
we had
were.
under a couple years ago, right?
2 years ago under. Last year over.
Yeah, we had Rockies under last year, White Sox under 2 years ago.
We're going to find our team this year.
I think we're going to be White Sox over this year. Also, you mentioned futures NFL. I know some guys around Minnesota, and believe it or not, they might not believe in JJ McCarthy long term.
No.
So, okay, well, what if they go in and get a vet in the summer? Justin Jefferson is going to be like 20-1 for Offensive Player of the Year. With a vet, I think that's a good bet.
What vet are we? See, the 49ers have said we're not interested in trading Mac Jones. It's basically, I think, his interpretation, Jeff, of okay, come in and make us a really good offer. And then what are you looking at? Tua, Kyler Murray,
Cousins is back. Cousins will be available.
Oh God,
what's Favre up to?
Aaron Rodgers? You calling Rodgers for a year?
Well, no.
Look, Jefferson's going to be. I'm telling you right now. I will bet Justin Jefferson because nobody's going to want to bet him.
We'll have to give you another 40-1 Carson Schwarzenegger for this year. That was awesome.
Just wait. Pretty soon we're going to have NFL draft props to bet.
This is going to be a weird draft year, right? Because second quarterback drafted will be, I'd be chambliss if he going to come back, right? Probably. But like Ty Simpson's a first rounder. It'll be interesting to wager on. Is my guess.
He'll go in the first round.
How many tackles and pass? It's not a great year for the draft props. Just right off the top of my head, is it?
It's like a meat and potatoes type, which really doesn't lean good toward. We'll be degenerates. We'll find a way to lose a hell of a lot more money in the draft this year, as we did last year and the year before when Anthony Richardson went 4th overall. Yeah, we'll have fun with that.
Yeah, the books are scared though, Bear. Like the days of whacking the draft are long gone, my friend, because they don't put stuff up anymore. Vegas doesn't even book it anymore.
They give that whole 20. Yeah, they put it up on Wednesday morning and take it down Wednesday night, right?
I remember the year Circa did 60 or 70 players over under in the draft, and they got killed because they were putting up like 3rd round guys. And that was the year we bet Quay Walker under like 40.5, and he went 22nd or something.
We got like first linebacker drafted. Quay Walker was like 12-1 or something.
I appreciated them taking bets. I promise you, they did not do that the next year because it was not a good result for the house.
How's our St. Louis bet looking, Sammy?
It looks really good. What did we give on this show? 80-1 final four? I see 17, 20, 22, 22, 25.
You know what's coming.
Here's what's happening. Seth Davis is going to put them in the Final Four on Selection Sunday, and they're going to lose their first game. That's what's going to happen.
They'll lose to Bradley or whatever in the in the first round, like a 6-11 game, where a random Missouri Valley former rival.
Wouldn't they put him up against like an 11 seed bad ACC team, and that's a team that takes them down? Are they going to do like a mid-major versus mid-major? The fun thing is I think it's what if Miami Ohio doesn't win their conference? They're not going to the thing. They're not right. They're not.
I'm glad you said that because I had that written down on my page here. I know everybody was caught up in the frenzy of the Olympics and Super Bowl weekend and whatever. Did you catch the MAC Sun Belt Challenge there on Saturday? The MAC got absolutely throttled by the Sun Belt in terms of mid-majors. That absolutely has to hurt them in terms of their case for getting a second team in. Akron went to Troy and got absolutely blitzed. And if Akron were to win that league, that's going to be interesting. I would not want to be Miami of Ohio losing in the semi or in the final to Akron and having to worry about that, sweat out the committee putting them in as an at-large.
Isn't this what Gottlieb said the other day? Got trashed for. He's like this conference is not as good. And Ken Palm right now, Ken Palm has Miami Ohio's net strength schedule ranking at 314. That's
very easily should have a couple of losses by now. Very easily.
Does Arizona lose tonight?
At
Kansas?
No. No, I think they beat Kansas. Yeah, I don't know if you've been listening to sports talk or doing any reading or scrolling through social media at all, but did you know that Bill Self has never lost on a big Monday?
I did see that there. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Talk about
never
powerful
lost
trend.
Never lost on Big Monday. You're a trends guy, so it makes a lot of sense.
Clearly.
You'd be
Trends with a Z too, not an S, a Z.
Two Z's. Talk
That
about
team's good though. Arizona's. I watched them on Saturday. They were laying 21. They could have won by
40,
50.
I think.
Yeah.
They could have won by 50.
But you're a big fade Tommy Lloyd postseason guy.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I will be fading them come tournament time. But I do think there is going to be something to watch moving forward in the NCAA tournament when you're filling out your brackets and you're making bets. And we got a great number, obviously, on St. Louis. But is this a new era of hoops down? We saw it last year. Are the upsets going of the top 16 seeds in the tournament? What, like 15 of the top 16 made the Sweet 16 last year? There weren't as many upsets as we normally got. Only St. John's was the 2 seed that lost to Arkansas, and Arkansas we know was a better team than what they were, and there were reasons to potentially fade St. John's last year. But yeah, it'll be very curious to see if that holds moving forward, or do we get back to what we've normally seen? Because with all these mid majors now, better players there, going to more established teams, it kind of feels like the exact, like college football and college basketball, they've had like exact opposite effects in the NIL era, where in college basketball, it's the rich who have gotten richer and really exuded their dominance, whereas in college football, kind of been spread out a little bit more, and you do maybe have 8 to 10 teams, and now that could potentially win it.
Yeah, well, in basketball, I mean, think about it. You got 350 teams. So if any team has a solid year out of nowhere, that team is pilfered that offseason, right? Like everybody just comes in and just, I'll have that and that and that. And then it's harder for the mid-majors to sustain success year over year. Teams can come out of nowhere, but then getting back is always the biggest challenge. This is my favorite part of the calendar year, guys. Super Bowl's over, so now everybody's going to watch college basketball, and everybody's going to say the same thing that we say every single year. It's so wide open. Oh, my God. And then you look off in the Final Four, and it's 1 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed. You know, like we do this every year. It's so wide open.
It does feel like we could have a bunch of like the 2 seeds and maybe even a 3 seed could potentially be 1 seed quality. Like Illinois is probably going to be a 2 seed. They're 1 seed quality. Michigan State is borderline like a 1 seed quality. Like it does feel like you could have maybe like 6 or 7 1 seeds this year as opposed to 4 1s and 4 2s.
It's a dumb sport that's unwatchable a lot of times. FYI.
On that note, we'll let you go. Hope you enjoy the NFL season. Hopefully you enjoyed the college football season. Let us know what we can do better. We did some different things this year. If you liked it, you didn't like it, try something new, suggestions, what you hated, tell us how much we stunk, all those wonderful things. We'll have some golf major thoughts, some NCAA tournament thoughts, some baseball futures. I'm actually starting to take some look at some baseball things. And Geoff, your thought on college football win totals. I had a call with some people at Fox the other day, kind of going through some schedules and looking at some teams. And you're right, there are a lot of college football teams out there that I can't wait to bet season win totals under on. So I'll have that for you. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, listening. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast and your digital social media information. For Sammy, for Geoff, and everybody that's joined us throughout the year, the football season, appreciate you. And remember, less you bet, more you lose to win.